Good evening, everyone. I wanted to take a little time to provide you an overview of week 2 and also provide you with a little bit more information about the course and about what is going to be expected of you. I know last week may have been a little confusing. I did receive emails from several of you about where to find different things and how to submit. So I wanted to go ahead and do another video just to make sure that you're clear on where you can find all of your different files that you need. So I did post the calendar. It's in the course resources tab right under the link to your syllabus, and I want to take a minute to just walk you through that. So let me share that with you. So it is in the form of an Excel spreadsheet, and you can see that I've got everything labeled as far as what is due when. All of your pre-labs, all of your quizzes, all of your assignment submissions are all on there. And you'll notice at the bottom the different months. So we can click between the different months and see what's due throughout the entire semester. Also, your assessments are on there. So you see your Unit 1 assessment is due September 18th. And most of these are going to be due on Friday, so just make sure you're aware of that Friday deadline because it's a little bit different than the deadlines for some of your other assignments. The other thing I wanted to mention as far as due dates for those of you that are completing this class online. This class meets, if you are coming to campus, this class meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9:30 to 11:50. And so you'll notice as you look at the quiz deadlines and the pre-lab deadlines that those are also set to be due at 9:30 a.m. If you are completing this course online, then you'll still need to complete the quiz on the day that it's due, but you are not mandated by that 9:30 deadline. Your deadline for that is 11:59 p.m. So as long as you complete it on that day, then you're okay. So for instance, if we go back to August and we look at what is coming up in week 2, so tonight you actually have your week 1 assignment submission that's due by 11:59, and that's where you need to submit the paper chromatography and the laboratory methods assignments. And then you'll see for Tuesday and Thursday, you have a quiz on both of those days. The deadline for the quiz is set for 9:30 a.m., like I mentioned, but you can turn it in at 11:59 p.m. And then next Sunday night by 11:59 p.m., you'll need to turn in all of the week 2 assignments. So now I want to take a minute and go through what those week 2 assignments are and also show you your supply list. A couple of you emailed me this week about chromatography paper, and I just want to remind you that you have a shopping list here, and all of these, or all of the items that you'll need for the entire semester are on this shopping list. So let me show you that. These are broken down into the different weeks. And I just realized that the wrong file is up there. I apologize about that. I don't know why the wrong file is there. I will fix that as soon as I get off of this recording and put the entire file up there for you. So these are, all of the things that you'll need. You'll notice you'll see some of the same supplies over and over and over again because we do use several things like baking soda and vinegar. We use those a lot throughout this course. We use measurements, rulers, and thermometers and different things. Like you'll notice in week 2, you need to have a thermometer. We'll use that again later on in the semester, so it's not something you'll use once and then be finished with it. You'll need this digital food scale, like I mentioned, your week 2 BDM activity. You can purchase these at Walmart if you don't want to order them from Amazon. I did notice they were a little bit more expensive than what I did find on Amazon, but if you can't, if you don't have Amazon Prime or you don't shop on Amazon, there are 3 or 4 different types of digital food scales that I found at Walmart this past week, so they are available there. So that's your shopping list, and again, that is found in your course, on the course resources. Just scroll down past your syllabus, past the cheat sheets, and you'll find that shopping list. And like I mentioned, I'll get that updated as soon as I finish with this this Collaborate session. So now I want to take you through the assignments for week 2. We'll still be in Unit 1. So we'll start week 2, and you've got 3 sections that you need to read, sections 1.4, 1.5, and 1.6. Of course, you've got your PowerPoint here if you want to read through that. And then you have 2 videos this time, one about the metric system and one about scientific notation. These are probably going to be a review. In fact, all of week 2 is probably going to be a review from a science course that you had at some point. But it's never bad to have a refresher. We use, scientific notation a lot in chemistry. We use dimensional analysis or conversion factors a lot. So it's a good idea to, refresh on this. So you'll read, you'll watch your videos, and then you have your quiz, okay? And the other thing to keep in mind about these quizzes is that it's a good idea to not use your book. I mean, they're not specifically closed book quizzes or closed book quizzes, but it's a good idea to take these without looking at your book, without, having these videos pulled up. That way, you'll figure out what you don't know. And these are things that you can email me, the things that you have questions about. So your first work that you have for week 2 are 2 worksheets, one on scientific notation and one on significant digits. So, and these are in PDF format. So you can, some computers have programs that allow you to edit or type into PDFs. If you can't do that, then you can just write your answers on a piece of paper and scan those, or you can just type your answers into a Word document, or you can print the actual files here and answer them on the document by hand and then scan those. That is completely up to you how you want to provide your answers for those. And then we have another practice with or another kind of a lab, not truly a lab, but a practice with metric measurements that you'll do. And you'll need this second link, which is the at-home modifications. And let me share that with you to go through a couple of things on that. Take just a second here. So here's your practice with metric measurements, and this is why you need the meter stick and thermometer and things on there. So these are the things that you're going to do. Basically just practice taking measurements. We tend to think in terms of the English system, we think in, feet and yards and ounces and pounds, but we really need to start thinking in the frame of mind of the metric system, because all of what we do in chemistry uses a metric system. We think in terms of volume, we think in liters or milliliters. For mass or weight, we think of grams. So it's really important that you get used to using the metric system. So these are different things that you need to measure, and you'll record the measurement using the correct units, and then you have a question here that you'll answer. And so do you basically what you're kind of thinking of here is, and I didn't explicitly say this in your handout in your document, but kind of think about, like, if you're in your bedroom, for example, for number one, the length of your bedroom, you can probably look at the wall in your bedroom and come up with how many feet and be pretty close with that. And so the conclusion question wants you to basically think about, using metrics versus using the English system. If you were making these predictions in the English system and in the metric system, would you have been closer with the English system? And explain why or why not. So just make sure that you have those items that you need in order to complete this lab. So now let me go back to week 2 and finish going through these. Okay, so we have the practice with the metric measurements, and then after you finish that, we have what's called the dimensional analysis showdown. And in the classroom, we're going to have a race. I'm going to pass this out to the students, and we're going to have a race on who completes this activity the fastest, and there'll be some bonus points awarded. And so I'm going to do the same thing for those of you who are completing this at home. Basically, what I'd like for you to do is just time yourself and then shoot me a screenshot of your timer from your phone or whatever other time you're using, and just submit that with your answers for this assignment. So you have several things, several documents here. You have the answer sheet, which of course is where you're going to write all of your answers. A little conversion sheet, that's kind of a help sheet for you, and then the actual questions on this file. And you'll time yourself, write down all your answers on your answer sheet, and then also include that screenshot of your timer. And then the last activity that you have for week 2, day 1, is a video about the temperature guys. And when we talk about temperature guys, we're talking about Celsius, Fahrenheit, and Kelvin. And there's going to be a passcode here. I will put this passcode in first thing tomorrow morning when I get to the office, and it will be good for 7 days. So it will be good all next week until essentially the following Monday morning around 8 o'clock. Once it expires, I can't get another one. So just make sure that you watch this video at some point this week so that it doesn't disappear. And there are some questions that you'll answer as you're watching the video, so make sure you've opened up this document and you have it ready so you can write your answers. Now, these are the things that we're going to do in this room on Tuesday. That doesn't mean you have to do all of these things on Tuesday. Just as long as you get them completed by the end of the week is fine with me, and you do not have to go in any particular order when you're working on these. So for week 2, day 2, kind of the same as we started day 1. You've got 3 sections to read. You've got your PowerPoint. You've got a couple of videos there getting into chemistry, getting into the elements, getting into atomic theory, and you have another video, and I'll put this passcode in also on Monday morning, so just make sure that you watch this video at some point during the week. And then you have another hands-on activity with the benium isotopes, and this is where that digital food scale will come in for the first time this semester. You need a digital scale. A regular food scale won't work. It needs to be digital, and preferably one that goes to 2 decimal places or 3. And then you've got your week 2 assignment submission. Now, preferably the way that you would submit this is that everything would be submitted at once. So you would submit your 2 worksheets here, your scientific notation and your significant digits, your practice with measurements, your dimensional analysis showdown, temperature guys video questions, the Rutherford video questions, and your benium isotope all in one file, or all in one submission. It doesn't have to be all in one file, but all in one submission. So when you click on the week 2 assignment submission, you can go here to browse your computer and then upload all of your documents at one time. You don't have to submit each document separately. If you want to, that's fine. I've allowed multiple submissions, but to save you time from doing that each time, you can submit all of them at once. Totally your choice, but you do have that option. So you can browse your computer, attach all of your documents, and then submit that way. I will go through a little bit of explanation this week. We'll talk a little bit about scientific notation and significant digits. I'll do a little, probably 10 to 15 minute little mini lecture on that. And then a little bit on the dimensional analysis. And then on day 2, I'll have a few notes that I'll do on the board as well. It's going to be really hard. I tried this past week to record with my mask on, and it's very difficult to do that. So my plan is to record a separate lecture for online and drop those into the class. So what I will probably do is do all of the week at once. So it will just be one video, and I will put it here at the very top, and I'll just say week 2 mini lecture or something like that, and I'll give you the link to YouTube to do that. My plan is to do those on Monday mornings. So come into the office, do the little mini lectures, and then post those here so that you have them really before you begin your work throughout the week. And then, you know, if there's any questions after you watch the lecture, after you watch the other videos, after you do the activities, if there are any other questions, you know, invite you to email me so that I can explain those other things to you. Like I mentioned, this first part, probably mostly a review for you, but as we get more into chemistry, there may be some things that, you know, aren't clear, and I want to make sure that you know that you can ask me questions. We can also have live sessions. If you would like to have a live video session, just you and I, we can do that as well. I can set up a collaborate session at a time that would work best for you, and we can go one-on-one, and you can ask questions, and I can explain things however that works for you. So hopefully I've given you a good overview of what to expect in week 2. And again, if you have questions, please just make sure that you let me know.